Again with another video, and this video is on, maybe you're one of these people, you're trying to reduce your meat consumption for whatever reason. So let's talk about that. First of all, what does meat give you, right? It gives you protein, and protein provides a slow and steady form of energy. It doesn't give you glucose. It's not going to make you gain weight. So you shouldn't worry about how much you eat, right? Within reason. It transports fluids. It creates hormones. It creates enzymes. It helps with immunity. But very importantly, it builds and repairs cell tissues. And this is really important for somebody like me who lifts heavy weights, right? But why? Because it is the only macronutrient that has nitrogen, and nitrogen is needed for protein synthesis. So nitrogen is a building block, a construction block, and you can only get it from protein. You cannot get it from carbs. You cannot get it from fat. So dietary protein, just in general, is converted into amino acids in your body, and fats are converted to fatty acids, and carbs are converted to glucose, right? They all have their needs. So dietary protein makes amino acids in your body. Now, there are 22 different amino acids in your body. 13 of those are made by your body, but 9 are called essential because your body cannot make them. Now, go back to the meat versus the plants. The meat is called a complete protein because it will give you all 9 essential amino acids. If you're eating plants, it's called an incomplete protein or a partial protein because each of those plants is going to lack 1 or more of those 9 essential amino acids. So you have to learn how to combine plant-based protein in a way that you're going to get your 9 essential amino acids at every meal, and really importantly, for the whole day. Now, there are other complete proteins that aren't meat, right? There's fish, poultry, soy, eggs, dairy, there's other ways, right? Some people are vegetarians, some people are just trying to cut down on the amount of meat. But what I want to say is, if you eat less meat, you can still build muscle, weight training. Even if you eat no meat, you can build muscle. But as I say, you have to plan the protein in your diet very carefully and properly. And what you have to play with are grains and leguminous vegetables, right? Grains like wheat, corn, rice, and legumes are things like peas, beans, lentils, even peanuts. Peanuts are not a nut. I don't know why they're called peanuts, but anyway, peanuts are grown in the ground, so they are not a nut. Nuts and seeds are up in the trees, and legumes are in the ground. So peanuts are actually legumes. So when I mentioned the 9 essential amino acids, I'm going to list them here, because if you're trying to balance your diet, and you need all 9, okay, these are the 9. And as I said, you need to eat grains and legumes. So each one of these, you can see L or G, each one of these comes from one or the other, right? They come from legumes or they come from grains. So you have to combine them. Now, I've got some with an asterisk here. Branch chain amino acids, there are 3 of them. So when I work out, I drink a BCAA mix, protein mix, branch chain, because it's going to help me not be as fatigued when I'm lifting weights, and it's going to help me recover more quickly. So just a sideline on 3 of them. Some people take all of them when they're working out. I just take those 3. Now, this business of legumes and grains, let's think about some combinations, okay, that will work. Let me make sure I don't knock over this speaker. Okay, and just think Think of some countries, how they eat. Perfect, right? For example, corn tortillas and refried beans, right? Lots of countries eat those. Well, guess what? Whether they know it or not, it was built into the culture because it's all 9 essential amino acids. Perfect. So these are a number of combinations that you can eat that will give you all 9. Okay, whether you're eating a little bit of meat or no meat, this is good to know. So the ideal, what's the ideal ratio of daily protein intake? Well, let me tell you that the amount of protein that you eat, the healthy amount that you should eat, is not even related to the number of calories. Rather, it's about the amount of protein needed to match your energy needs or your goals. As with anything, carbs or whatever, too much or too little of protein is not healthy. So if you exercise a lot, like I do, you are going to make the protein that you eat work a hell of a lot harder, and that's good. So I would suggest, depending on how you exercise, 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's where you start. You can figure out your other macros after, but that's the protein that you need. At least 0.8 grams per body weight pound, and up to 1. If you're an Olympic athlete, you'll be higher than 1. But, for instance, I probably eat about 1.1 or 1.2. That's a little higher, but that just 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is a good goal for you. Now, I do want to mention 2 cautionary notes. Some non-meat plant proteins have very high concentrations of, where's my marker here? Something called lectins, okay? Lectins. Now, lectins can cause weight gain. They can cause inflammation. Now, it does remain controversial at the moment, but lectins are plant-based protein that binds with sugar molecules. So the problem with them is they're not problem, but the fact they're not as bioavailable as a protein as animal protein is. So, if you want to read more about lectins, and maybe you've got a friend that can't eat, corn, and you wonder why, well, it's going to be lectins. Corn is just chock-a-blocked with lectins. So I'll give you a name of a book that you can read, and it's called The Plant Paradox, and it is written by a Dr. Stephen D-R-Y, yeah. The Plant Paradox is all about this kind of thing, right? Dr. Stephen Gundry. It's an excellent book. He doesn't even know I'm recommending this, right? Oh, well. And the second cautionary thing I want to say is plant-based meat alternatives, right? They became the big thing in North America recently, right? But I would say read the labels carefully. When veggies are made to look like meat, you better believe there's a whack of food processing involved. How else can vegetables, how can you have a hamburger, that's made of vegetables, right? You got to have a lot of additives and a lot of shit in it to make it hang together. But it can be high in saturated fat. It can be high in salt. It can be high in sugar. The food industry, it plays with salt, fat, sugar, and crunch to make foods more palatable for you. And why do they have plant-based meat alternatives? Because you asked for them. They always meet your needs. They want to make more money, right? If you want something not in food, they're going to take it out. If you want something in food, they're going to put it in. And they don't care how they do it, and they don't care what it does to your health, they're going to do it. So all I'm saying is be careful with plant-based meat alternatives. Read the labels. I mean, I would always suggest fresh, real veggies are better than anything else. And I do cover this kind of thing in my book. In fact, I recommend this in my book as well. So I hope this has helped you. And just remember, you need all 9. See you in the next video. Bye for now.